flown on family vacations. One family's vacation never got off the ground, though. It was for a teensy tiny reason. They were prohibited from boarding a Southwest Airlines flight to Disneyland due to allegations that their daughter had lice. Just to clarify what happened here, the family was waiting to board the flight when the mother noticed something in her 6-year-old daughter's hair. Apparently, it was dry skin, started brushing it out, but about a half hour later, the family was approached by a Southwest attendant with the concern that the daughter had lice. And I guess there were lots of people and families complaining because there were some concerns, 10 plus fellow passengers. They saw actions by the mother and daughter that would concern them for lice. And I can understand the position here of the airline saying, wait a minute, we don't want lice on board the airplane.
Yeah, they put them on a different flight. And you raised the question, you know, was this family treated unfairly? Did the airlines jump to a conclusion? Did they have enough information to make this decision? But as you said, Travis, they have maybe 100 or 200 other people that were going to be on that flight, and better safe than sorry, because the family would not want to be in the position, if there is lice, of infecting someone else, and then you have hundreds for potential claims by other passengers.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're dealing something like lice, which is highly contagious, transferred by head-to-head contact, you're going to have the close confines of a plane, and you have more than 10 families and crew members all observing this behavior that's pretty consistent with lice. And I think there's an epidemic now of actually what are called super lice, which are completely resistant to the over-the-counter permethrin and pyrethins and all the kind of typical medicines. But there's always this question about infectious disease and people being contagious to others, and at what point do you step in and try to protect a larger number of people and inconvenience a couple? I think it's really hard sometimes to distinguish, because yes, it was upsetting for this family whose trip to Disneyland was delayed, but you had so many people concerned about a contagious condition.
Let's invite this question. Someone has the flu. I'm telling you right now, the flu is a lot more dangerous than a head full of lice.
Yes.
People board airplanes all the time with the flu. We've seen them.
Sneezing on you without covering their mouth.
And they look terrible, and they're coughing, and you're like, oh, God, how did I get this seat? And you're just praying you get off that flight and don't get infected. So it really is an interesting dilemma. Are we going to get to a point where you have this medical ombudsman at the hospital who's like, yep, you can board? At the airport. Or you're going to go through the screening, and not only are they going to do x-rays of your body, but they're going to test you for illness, like, oh, we've detected influenza virus.
If somebody is allergic to peanuts, and they close down peanuts on the whole flight, can they do that?
Yeah, a lot of flights will not serve peanuts because of people with peanut allergies. And they don't want you eating your own peanuts because they think it's somehow getting the air and. I think that has a lot to do with, they don't want to have someone have an attack, like an allergic reaction. They have to land the plane someplace, other than where they were the destination. So there are a lot of reasons, I think, to keep peanuts off airplanes. You're on a flight for 3 hours. If you have to have a peanut, eat your peanut before you board and when you deplane.
I think airplanes, buses, any public transportation is when we all have to just use common sense, make our best judgments. Sometimes you may err on the side of caution. Sometimes you may make a mistake the other way. In this case, Southwest Airlines did what they delayed this family's departure. We did reach out to them for a statement, which reads, in part, our employees were approached by multiple customers with concerns about a fellow passenger. We determined it would be best to rebook their travel for the following day. We've apologized and refunded the cost of their tickets. Our goal is for every customer to have a positive experience, and we do our best to deliver on that commitment while keeping the health and safety of our customers as our top priority. We'll have the complete statement on our website, thedoctorstv.com.